Hi there, and welcome back to part 2 of the PAR Presidential Update with Sarah Michelle Bliss. So today, we are so excited to have Sarah Michelle back with us and to continue talking about her book. So looking back, was there a lesson you learned while writing the book that changed the way you approach your own business?
I think really when you write it, you have to live it, right?
True.
You have to actually apply the principles that you write about. So I think it just made us both, Nate and I give credit to my co-author as well, just made us better realtors, made us better coaches, better leaders, and implementing the concepts in here.
So many agents are navigating a more balanced market today. What's one strategy you believe every realtor should focus on over the next year?
Over the next year, I think over probably the next several years, is learning to have difficult conversations with people, whether that's a buyer or a seller. Buyers are drunk with power right now because there is inventory, and we're seeing them move on from one property to the next if they're not happy. Sellers, I think some sellers are still living in a COVID market.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I know sellers are still
living in a COVID market. And I think that's one of the hardest things as a skill that we develop as agents is your good communication and being able to have honest, difficult conversations with sellers that might need to paint their front door or, declutter or, whatever, fill in the blanks that's causing the home not to sell. Price is everything right now.
Correct.
And it always has been, right? When I got in the business, the average was 64 days on the market, and that was for your first offer, which might not be the offer you actually took.
Correct.
So,
but usually the first offer is the best offer.
That's 100%. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So I think learning to have honest conversations is a piece of advice I would give.
Good. So what inspired you and Nate Martinez to write the book in the first place?
So we were doing workshops around the Valley for recruiting. We were trying to recruit to the office. And one day I was talking to a mentor, and she said, there's a book in that, what you guys are doing. And so we recorded it one time, and it started to take on a life of its own. It took us probably 5 years to really get to it, and we finished. Most of it was written during COVID, actually. Him and I meeting on Zoom and going through it, and then we hired an amazing editor that just helped us make the book even better. So it was birthed out of just both of us having a deep desire to get back to the industry. I always joke that this job is the coolest job next to being a rock star, and coming from the humble beginnings that we came from, it's changed my life. I wouldn't be the person I am today if I hadn't chose to be a realtor and, opted to go that route and, being with the company I'm at, it's a lot of money every month. And for a girl who grew up in a trailer park, I was like, wow, it changed my life. And so it just was our way of giving back to the industry and helping other agents.
That's good. What's one myth about succeeding in real estate that you wish agents would stop believing?
Oh, this is a great one. When people say it's hard. I was at a meeting last week, and part of the leadership team stood up at the front of the room and said, the market's hard. And I'm very challenged by that because that belief is false. It's different.
I was just going to say, it's not hard. It's different.
It's different.
Yeah.
It is different.
It changes all the time.
It changes all the time. Look at what happened during COVID.
Correct.
Who would have ever thought we would be doing signings through drive-through? We navigated, right? And that's one thing that I absolutely love about this industry is we pivot. When something happens, we pivot. We figure it out, and we keep on selling homes. And the reality is that I think it's 7% of the marketplace has to move every year, whether that's life events, death, divorce, marriage, job relocation, and it's our job. Go out and find your slice of the pie. You want to sell 50 or 100 homes? Go find those people. Go find those people and work that. That doesn't have to be hard. You have to show up. You got to put in the work, make the calls, be visible. But that challenges me when people say it's hard.
Yeah. And to piggyback off what you just said, the question or the statistic that used to be every 7 years people bought a home. Right. Now it's up to 10 to 11. So what's your reaction on that when people say it's like there's no business out there?
There is business. You're just not going and finding it. Right. So you have to go find it. And I think, having conversations with people. Myself personally, I was living in the Valley during COVID. And on a whim, it was New Year's Eve night, got on my phone. I'm thinking, I want to buy a house with a pool if I'm going to keep living in the Valley. And then I decided, what am I doing? I'm going back to Prescott. And so that was January, right? So January 1st, by March 22nd or March, whatever it was, 5th, I was back up here. So on a whim, right? So you just don't know. When people say, I'm not going to move, but life changes. And it's our job to have that sticky factor with those people. So when they think about someone who is moving or themselves are going to move, we're the one that comes to mind.
So what's one habit you've practiced consistently throughout your career that has had the biggest impact on your success?
Showing up, being in my database, being present where I can be present, and just having conversations with people. I'm wearing a name badge, as simple as that might sound, but I've sold homes to people just from wearing a name badge.
I agree with you. I remember sitting at the pool at the YMCA with my daughters doing swim lessons, and someone said, "Oh, you're in real estate?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Sold them a house.
Absolutely.
It's just simple things like that.
Absolutely. Everything works and nothing doesn't, to quote Nate. And so show up, right? Show up, be where your people are. I think, and that's another point too, is make it easy for people to find you. Be where they are. And so if that's Instagram, if that's Facebook, if that's LinkedIn, wherever you want to be, show up and make it easy for people to find you, and don't be a secret agent.
And then, so also, how did you get your database to begin with, based off of those things that you were just talking about, correct?
You're really going to date me. So
remember, we've already established we've been doing this for close to 30 years, so it's going to date us no matter what.
My very first database was an index card box, or a box with index cards. And one of my first tasks as a new agent on Nate's team was, and mind you, I was young, 21, right? So my friends were out at the clubs. They weren't thinking about buying homes. And so the task was to write down the name and number. We didn't have email back then, but the address and phone number of everybody you knew. And it was an index card box. And I would just call those people, right? And then I started marketing to them little chicken soup for the soul stories every month on a postcard.
I remember doing that too. Yes.
A dot matrix printer, right? When it would jam and it was the bane of your existence to get those postcards out. But it started working, right? And I started getting referrals. And even still to this day, I would market to my family out of state and say, hey, I'm a realtor here, but I can find you somebody there, whether that's a lender, a realtor, and even still to this day, those, I have a niece or a nephew will call me and say, hey, Auntie, we're thinking about making a move. Who, can you hook us up? So, that just that marketing over time and just dripping on those people and staying in contact. So that was my first database.
Good. So where can we buy your book?
Oh, that is a great question. It's on Amazon, so you can buy it right through Amazon, print on demand. 8 ways to dominate any real estate market.
Well, thank you, Sarah, Michelle, for coming in. I so appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us and just talking a little bit about your book. And if you'd like to be a guest on this podcast, just like Sarah Michelle, we'd love to have you. Just fill out the guest request form that's linked in the description. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.